This tutorial is for 3rd grade, Module 5, Lesson 25. In this lesson, we're going to use fraction models to show how whole numbers can be written as fractions. In my first problem, I'm given a rectangle, and this rectangle represents one whole. In the next picture, they've taken that whole and they've divided it into 3 equal pieces. So this shaded portion is still one whole, but we would write it as 3/3. It's been divided into 3 pieces, and all 3 pieces are shaded. In the next picture, this rectangle still represents one whole. It has been divided into 2 pieces, so each of these pieces is 1/2. And I also have another half shaded in the second whole. So altogether, I have 3 pieces that are shaded. Each piece is 1/2, so we would call this 3/2. In my final picture, I have 3 wholes. Each one of these is considered one whole. They have not been divided into pieces. So what I would say is I have 3 wholes. My denominator of 1 tells me that I have one whole. The numerator tells me I have 3 of those. So I have 3 wholes. So the number 3 can be written as 3/1. Here's another example. This time, my one whole has been divided into 4 equal pieces. So I have 4 pieces shaded out of the 4 that make up the whole. So one whole can be written as 4/4. In the next picture, I have 2 wholes. Each of those has been divided into 2 equal pieces. So the pieces are halves, and I have 4 of those pieces. So I have 4/2. That would be equal to 2 wholes. And in the last picture, I have 4 wholes. They have not been divided into any fractional pieces, so I would say I have 4 pieces. Each one is a whole. So the number 4 can be represented as 4 wholes, or 4/1. In the next section, we're going to represent the numbers on a number line as fractions. If I start with 0, 0 would mean that I have 0 wholes. The 1 as my denominator means 1 whole. So if I have 1 whole, I would write that as 1/1. 2 wholes would be 2/1 because that means 2 wholes. 3 wholes is 3/1. 4 wholes is 4/1. 5 wholes is 5/1. And 6 wholes is 6/1. So each whole number can be written as a fraction over 1, and the denominator again means 1 whole. The next question asks us to explain the difference between these 2 fractions. Again, we need to focus on the denominator. In this fraction, it tells me that my whole is still one piece. It has not been broken up into any smaller pieces, and I have 2 of those. So 2/1 would represent 2 wholes, or the number 2. The second fraction tells me that I have divided my whole into 2 equal pieces. So if I take my whole and divide it into 2 pieces, there are my halves. The numerator says I have 2 halves, so each piece is considered 1/2, and I have 2 of them. So you can see the difference between 2/1 and 2/2.